Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here with another video. Figured I'd go ahead and do the Ninja Turtles franchise since I recently just had a marathon of these babies. And I got the collection right here. This includes the 4 original films. Well, the 3 original live action films plus the later animated film that came out like 2007. Now the first film is pretty much the best film of the set. I'd give it 4 stars out of 4. It's a great Turtles film. It's not perfect. Donatello and Michelangelo's personalities are kind of too similar. But other than that, it's a great movie. Yeah, the Foot Clan like steals stereos and stuff like that in the movie instead of like stuff that they could, stuff that makes them seem like a really deadly gang. But it's perfect in the movie though because it helps target the movie towards teenage audience, which is what it's going for. And the final battle with Shredder at the end and just Splinter and the Jim Henson puppets of the Turtles, it just all looks fantastic. It just all came alive here. First Turtles film is great, easily 4 stars. Elias Koteas as Casey Jones, he's great. I've always liked that actor. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Paige Turco plays April in the second film. She's not as good as the girl from the first movie, who's Judith Hogan, or Hogue, I think. She played the crappy Halloween Town movies that are on Disney Channel now. At least, well, I don't know if they're crappy or not. I never really watched them. But Paige Turco takes over in the second movie because I believe they didn't want her back because she did a lot of complaining on the set of the first one. Paige Turco is a better looking woman than the woman from the first movie. Not saying Judith Hogue is ugly because she isn't, but Paige Turco is really pretty, but she's okay. She's not as good as Judith Hogue from the first film. Turtles 2 gets more lighthearted and more campy and funny. It's like a kid's film, and anybody that knows anything about Turtles knows at the end of the film you get Vanilla Ice doing the ninja rap. It's really corny. All in all, I'd give it 2.5 stars. It's an alright movie. You get Toka and Razor, who are like these who's a mutant wolf and a snapping turtle. That worked for Shredder, and they should have been Bebop and Rocksteady from the old Ninja Turtles cartoon, but they worked fine. There's no really harm in them. They carry the movie. They carry the movie decently, in my opinion. All in all, I'll give it 2.5 stars. It gets really corny, but it's enjoyable. Ninja Turtles 3, Turtles in Time. Anybody will tell you is the weakest movie of the live-action films. Here, the Jim Henson Company doesn't do the turtle effects, so the suits look like shit. The Turtles go back in time, and the plot is like full of holes. You get like this magic scepter, which I'm fine with. Some people don't like the time travel plot. I don't have a big problem with it because it kind of suits the Turtles to do it in the comic books. They've done it in the animated series. It works here. Elias Koteas comes back. He plays Casey Jones, but he's barely in the movie. And then he plays this other past character who they even reference looks like Casey, but you never know if he's like a descendant of Casey or not. And then you find out the Turtles, like there's creatures that look like the Turtles that were even further back in the past that have fought this Japanese guy's ancestors before, and that's how he knows who they are. And like I said, it's just full of plot holes and stuff that's left unexplained. It's not thought out too well, and the jokes are lamer here, and the villains are the weakest of the first 3 movies. I miss Shredder in this film. I was glad they didn't use Shredder after 2 films of using Shredder, but at the same time, these villains are so lame, I did miss Shredder. All in all, I'll give it a low 2 stars. It's a dumb film. It's stupid. But it's passable. I think it's a passable film for kids. I think kids can watch it and just kind of kill 2 hours with it, or however long it is. I forget. But it's passable. Paige Turco comes back to play April. I like her better in this film. I think she does a better job because she doesn't really play April. She's more just like this chick trapped in the past. It's nothing about her doing news reports or anything. She's better in this film. I actually thought she was good. You get the TMNT, the animated film. I'd give it 3 stars out of 4. I thought TMNT was a good animated film. Sometimes the CGI look is hit or miss, but for the most part it's good. Sarah Michelle, let me make sure here. Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar does the voice of April. She does a good job. I didn't mind her. Chris Evans does Casey Jones. He's fine. But Casey Jones is a little bit more neutered here because they're going more for a family audience. I liked how they displayed the Turtles' distinct personalities in this film really well by showing, how they're each different. Donatello's like a smart one. He has like a tech home support job. That was kind of cool. And Raphael and Leonardo keep arguing in the movie. Then they have this big epic turtle fight in the rain. Really well animated, really cool. And then of course they have to band together at the end to defeat the villain. Who is this? The villain in the movie that's one of the weak points. Is this magical stone general things that are really lame. But all in all, as a whole, I'd give it 3 stars. It's a very enjoyable family movie. And Mako, the Japanese actor, this was his final role. He did a lot of voices, like the bad guy. I believe his name was Aku on Samurai Jack. He does a good job here. I liked him as Splinter. And at the end of the movie, if you look on Splinter's trophy wall, he has the time scepter and Shredder's mask from the other 2 movies, which is cool. And before I forget, at the end of Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, you actually had Kevin Nash play Super Shredder. Shredder actually drunk the last vial of ooze at the end of that movie, turned into Super Shredder. That's another problem with that movie that a lot of fans list, is the fact that Super Shredder didn't really do shit at the end of Turtles 2. After he turns into Super Shredder, he just demolishes this dock that he's under, and he just kills himself pretty much. It's really lame. Yeah, all in all, that's the 4 Turtles films. First one's my favorite. Second favorite would be number 4. And then number 2, which is an alright movie. And then number 3, which is just a passable film. The animated movie is a good film. Then we get over here to the Michael Bay reboot series. Now, this film, compared to the other films, or to the first Turtles film or whatever, is only a passable Turtles film, just better than Turtles 3. But if you judge this film as like a Turtles film on its own, just like its own version of Turtles, then I'd give it 2.5 stars. It's average. I like it better than Turtles 2 and 3, but not better than the animated film or the original film. It's average on its own. It's pretty much its own version of Turtles. You got Megan Fox. This is actually the best acting I've ever seen Megan Fox do. She's all right in the movie. She's fine. She's not terrible. She's not good. She's just all right. Then you got Will Arnett. That's it. I have to look on the back of my box here before I forget these names. You got Will Arnett, who plays Vern, who's actually in the 80s cartoon series. He does a good job. He's funny. William Fichtner plays like Shredder's adopted son, I guess. And then you got Karai, who is like Shredder's adopted daughter, even though they don't point it out in the movie. Anybody that knows the 2003 animated series knows that she is. Pretty much in the film, Shredder wants to poison these people in New York City, and then sell the cure, have the cure and make people bow down to him because he has it. Problem with the movie is Shredder feels kind of forced in. It almost feels like they shot the movie and then went back and had to put Shredder in the movie. He feels kind of forced into the movie. And Shredder's robot, mecha suit he has in the movie is kind of cool, but at the same time when he starts fighting, he uses way too many robot blades that shoot out of his suit that takes away from the martial arts portion of it. I don't like the way Splinter is animated in this film. Everything's like CGI in this film. The CGI for the most part looks good though. The turtles they look all right. They're just kind of too big, in my opinion. I don't mind the look of the faces or whatever, but they're just kind of too big. I don't like the way Splinter looks though, but I do think Tony Shalhoub did a good job voicing him. I don't like the new turtle origin they give in this movie, but I like how the turtles have super enhanced strength in this, and they can throw shit twice their size. That was cool. Kind of gave it a superhero feel. There's really cool snow mountain action scene, where the turtles are sliding down the side of this mountain. Really cool action scene. All in all, an average film, and I like the introduction of the turtle band in the movie. There's a little bit too much potty humor in it, too much Michelangelo being horny for Megan Fox. Too many of those jokes. All in all, though, if you judge it on its own, it's an average adaptation of the Turtles. Better than Turtles 2 and 3, in my opinion, on its own. Compared to the first movie, though, and what was done in that, it's only a low-level, passable film. I don't have the sequel list. But I'll say this, the sequel to the Michael Bay Turtles, I watched it before I did this video. It is pretty good. It's actually my favorite second Turtles film out of the other Turtles films, out of all of them. It's actually pretty good. You get the second one, the second Michael Bay film is it's called Out of the Shadows or whatever. It's like a reboot almost of the first Michael Bay film, and they go for a strict feel of the 80s animated series. It's exactly like the 80s animated series. I love seeing Bebop and Rocksteady, and I thought they were really funny. The guy who plays Casey Jones, he's kind of hit or miss. It's the dude from Arrow, which is a show that I don't really watch. But I warmed up to him later on in the movie, and you get kind of like a Vanilla Ice intro where they're listening to a Vanilla Ice song on a jukebox or a radio or something. That was cool. Krang is in the movie, and he is great. As a matter of fact, one of my big problems with the film is I wanted more Krang in the film. I felt like he was underused. But when he is there, he is really cool, and it's really cool to see Krang there, and him and his giant robot, and of course the turtles at the end defeat Krang and save the day. This movie is a live-action cartoon. It tries to be exactly like the cheesy 80s show, and just tries to be really ridiculous and just go completely over the top with an over-the-top cartoonish plan. The whole movie is like a big live-action cartoon, and if you can't gel with that kind of thing, you're going to hate the movie. But if you can, and you watch the movie for what it is, it's a highly enjoyable Turtles film. It's a pretty good movie, 3.5 stars out of 4. It's pretty good. It's just fun. It's got a really good energy about it. This is the best performance I've ever seen Megan Fox give. She's actually good in the movie. She's good. Not great, but she's good. This is actually the best performance I've ever seen her give. Yeah, all in all, I'd give it for 3.5 stars out of 4. It's my favorite sequel. It has Krang. It has Shredder working together with Krang. And Bebop and Rocksteady are hilarious. They keep saying shit like "my man" every time they do something, which is really funny. And and it's just a fun time. Really, just enjoyable to watch. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw in the movie Turtles Forever, which is actually the movie that was the final of the 2003 cartoon. This movie is actually a direct-to-video feature, but I'm going to throw it in here anyway. I'd give this one 3 stars out of 4. I like it better than the 2007, I believe, animated movie that's in my 4-pack right here. It's the final of the 2003 show, and it brings the 80s Turtles into like the same universe as the 2007 Turtles, or the 2003 Turtles, I mean. And you find out there's like the multiverse of Turtles from all these different Turtle franchises and movies. And they even meet the original Turtles from the first, like Peter Laird or Eastman and Laird original comic books, the guys who created the Turtles, the black and white comics or whatever. That was cool. And you meet like the wimpy version of Shredder from the 80s show meets like the hardcore version of Shredder from the 2003 show, which was really funny. One problem I had with the movie is I felt like they were being a little bit too mean towards the 80s show, and that felt weird to me. Like some of the jokes just borderlined on like trying to make fun of the show, which I thought was kind of weird because the 80s show is the most popular version of the Turtles, so that kind of felt weird. But yeah, all in all, I highly recommend the Turtles Forever movie. It's not perfect, and it does drag a little on the plot. It's a little muddled later on, but it's just extremely fun. And the in-jokes that they give for when the 2003 Turtles go to the 80s Turtles universe, they see how cheesy it is, and they like freak out. And then they go to the original Turtles Prime universe, the black and white Turtles, and the black and white Turtles are just like so much more badass than every other version of the Turtles. That shit is hilarious. Yeah, all in all, it's just a really fun time. I highly recommend it. The reason I added it into this Turtles review is just so I can get it out there because not a lot of people talk about it, and I really want to buy it myself because I don't own it yet either. Yeah, so all in all, that's a review of the Turtles franchise. I'm a big Ninja Turtles fan. I'd give the 80s cartoon 4 stars. The 80s cartoon is great, best version of Turtles in my opinion, if I have to add that in. 2003 cartoon, I'd give it 4 stars as well. It's great as well in its own way. It's not as good as the 80s show, but it's still a great show. I haven't seen the Nickelodeon version yet, but yeah, all in all, as far as the Turtles go, great franchise. I had a blast reviewing it and a blast watching them, and I'll see you guys again on the next review.